Hi, Year 8. Today's lesson is describing holidays, and we're going to look at how to describe what kind of accommodation you stayed in on holiday in the past tense and what it was like. So, giving your opinions on places. So, first of all, I'm going to have a quick look at some past participles. So, in the left-hand box, you have got some past participles in German. So they're your G words. And in the blue box, you've got the English, but they're not matched up. You're going to have 2 minutes to match them up. So you need to write them down matched up in your book. If you manage to get that finished, your extension is to think about these 3 questions. What type of words are these? Why is there a star next to 2 of them? And can you add any more to the list that aren't there? Okay, so you've got 2 minutes now to write them down and match them up. Okay, right, let's have a look at them matched up then. So you've got gespielt, which is played, gemacht, did, gegessen, ate, getrunken, drank, gehabt, had, gesehen, watched, gehört, listened, geliebt, loved, gehasst, hated, gefunden, found, gekauft, bought, gewohnt, lived, gefahren, travelled, geflogen, flew. Now let's have a look at these extension questions. So what type of words are these? They're all past participles. Why is there a star next to 2 of them? Gefahren and geflogen involve travelling to a new location. Okay, so when you're in the past tense, you have 2 helping verbs. You use haben or sein. If you travel somewhere, you need to use sein. So these last 2 are the ones that you would use sein with because you've gone to a new location. And can you add any more to this list? There are lots and lots of different ones that you could have added to that list. Okay, so we're going to have a look at how to say what type of accommodation you stayed in on holiday. Now, to say I stayed is ich habe gewohnt. Ich habe gewohnt. And in the middle here where you see the dots, that's where you put the type of accommodation in. So, ich habe in einem Hotel gewohnt means I stayed in a hotel. Try saying that out loud. Ich habe in einem Hotel gewohnt. Ich habe in einer Pension gewohnt. I stayed in a bed and breakfast. Ich habe in einer Jugendherberge gewohnt. I stayed in a youth hostel. That's quite a long word. Jugendherberge. So if you break it up into 3 bits, Jugend, Herberge, Jugendherberge. Try saying that 3 times. Jugendherberge, Jugendherberge, Jugendherberge. Ich habe in einem Ferienhaus gewohnt. A Ferienhaus is a holiday home or an apartment that you might rent. Ich habe in einem Wohnwagen gewohnt. In einem Wohnwagen. In a caravan. Ich habe auf einem Campingplatz gewohnt. I stayed on a campsite. Campingplatz. Ich habe bei Verwandten gewohnt. I stayed with relatives. Ich habe bei Verwandten gewohnt. Let's go over those again. In einem Hotel. In einer Pension. In einer Jugendherberge. In einem Ferienhaus. In einem Wohnwagen. Auf einem Campingplatz. Bei Verwandten. Bei Verwandten. Okay, right. So now you've had a quick look at them. The pictures are going to flash up on the screen and see if you can remember them. If you can remember it, say it out loud in German. Okay, right, in your book now, you need to write these new words down. Every type of accommodation starts with a capital letter because it is a noun. Okay, so write these words down in your book. If you've got highlighters or 2 colours, use them so that it makes it easier for you to revise from. Pause the video now so that you can keep this on the screen whilst you write it down. Okay, right, we're going to have a look at some adjectives that you could use to describe where you stayed. Now, some of these words will look familiar to you because we have done them before, and some of them may look completely new. You might not have seen these before. So just have a quick read through that list and tell yourself what you think those words mean in English. Okay, so let's have a look at what they mean. So you've got bequem is comfortable, unbequem, uncomfortable, modern, modern, altmodisch, old-fashioned, gut ausgestattet, well-equipped, heruntergekommen, rundown, billig, cheap, teuer, expensive, sauber, clean, schmutzig, dirty, ruhig, quiet, laut, loud, stinkend, smelly, entspannend, relaxing. Okay, so pause the video now and write these words down in your book. Make sure you get your spellings right. Use your colours or your highlighters if you've got some. Okay, now if we were in school, we would be playing the 50% game in pairs, but we can't do this now. So I'm just going to talk you through this. So you've got various options of making sentences here. So ich habe, then you choose a type of accommodation out of the first box. Gewohnt, stayed, und es war, and it was. And then in the last box, you've got some adjectives that you could use to describe it. So if you made a full sentence, it could be I stayed in a hotel and it was small. Ich habe in einem Hotel gewohnt und es war klein. And then if you have a look in this blue box here, it says extension, add a qualifier before the adjectives like sehr, total, ziemlich, extrem, ambition, etc. So anytime you add extra words to your sentences, the quality of your German increases and you're likely to get better grades. So whenever you use an adjective, always try to put a qualifier in front of it so that you can really show off and prove that you know a good range of words in German. Okay, right. So let's have a go at translating some sentences. So number one, I stayed in a hotel and it was big. Write that down in your book in German using the words from these yellow boxes. I stayed in a hotel and it was big. And you should have written, ich habe in einem Hotel gewohnt und es war groß. Okay, next one, write this down in German. I stayed in a caravan and it was very small. And you should have written down, ich habe in einem Wohnwagen gewohnt und es war sehr klein. And the next one, write this down in German. I stayed in a B&B and it was quite cheap. And the correct translation is, ich habe in einer Pension gewohnt und es war ziemlich billig. And your next one, write this in German. I stayed in a holiday home and it was totally relaxing. And the correct translation is, ich habe in einem Ferienhaus gewohnt und es war total entspannend. And your next one, I stayed on a campsite and it was a bit boring. And the translation is, ich habe auf einem Campingplatz gewohnt und es war ein bisschen langweilig. Okay, hopefully you're getting the hang of these sentences now. So we're going to do a listening activity now. So in your book, you need to draw this table. So across the top, you've got 6 columns. And at the top of those columns, you need to write travel, destination, accommodation, description of the place times 2. So that's, you will be required to write down 2 adjectives for that. Activities times 2. So for each one, you're going to need to write down 2 activities the person mentions and then their opinion. So you need to write this table in your book, and down the side, you're writing 1 to 4. And when you do the listening, you're going to be filling this table in English. So pause the video now whilst you draw the table out. Okay, right, let's have a listen to the activity and fill it in as you go along. You will be able to listen to each one twice, so hopefully you'll have time to fill it in. Remember, if you're in a column that says times 2, you need to get 2 pieces of information in there.
1. Ich war letzten Sommer in Koblenz, in Deutschland. Ich bin mit dem Auto gefahren. Ich habe in einem Ferienhaus gewohnt. Die Stadt war schön und historisch. Ich bin Rad gefahren und ich habe Wassersport gemacht. Es war gut. Ich war letzten Sommer in Koblenz, in Deutschland. Ich bin mit dem Auto gefahren. Ich habe in einem Ferienhaus gewohnt. Die Stadt war schön und historisch. Ich bin Rad gefahren und ich habe Wassersport gemacht. Es war gut.
Make sure you're filling this in English.
2.
Ich war im Dezember in Inverness, in Schottland. Ich bin geflogen. Ich habe in einem Hotel gewohnt. Inverness war klein, aber touristisch. Ich bin Ski gefahren und ich habe Souvenirs gekauft. Es war toll. Ich war im Dezember in Inverness, in Schottland. Ich bin geflogen. Ich habe in einem Hotel gewohnt. Inverness war klein, aber touristisch. Ich bin Ski gefahren und ich habe Souvenirs gekauft. Es war toll.
Drei.
Im Sommer war ich 2 Wochen in der Schweiz. Wir sind mit dem Reisebus gefahren. Und wir haben bei Freunden gewohnt. Sie wohnen am See. Das Dorf war sehr alt und ruhig. Ich habe so viel gemacht. Jeden Tag bin ich im See geschwommen. Wir sind auch Windsurfen gegangen. Das war toll. Nur war das Wetter nicht so gut. Es hat jeden Tag geregnet. Im Sommer war ich 2 Wochen am See. Das Dorf war sehr alt und ruhig. Ich habe so viel gemacht. Jeden Tag bin ich im See geschwommen. Wir sind auch Windsurfen gegangen. Das war toll. Nur war das Wetter nicht so gut. Es hat jeden Tag geregnet.
4.
Letztes Jahr bin ich mit meiner Familie nach Österreich geflogen. Wir haben in einer Jugendherberge gewohnt. Es gab viele Leute, also war es ziemlich laut. Aber auch sehr schön. Jeden Tag sind wir Snowtubing gegangen und ich bin auch Snowboard gefahren. Mein Urlaub war super. Letztes Jahr bin ich mit meiner Familie nach Österreich geflogen. Wir haben in einer Jugendherberge gewohnt. Es gab viele Leute, also war es ziemlich laut. Aber auch sehr schön. Jeden Tag sind wir Snowtubing gegangen und ich bin auch Snowboard gefahren. Mein Urlaub war super.
Okay, right, let's have a look at the answers. I know parts of that were tricky, but hopefully you managed to pick out some bits of the information. Okay, so each question is going to be worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 marks because 2 of them have got 2 bits. So you get 1 tick for every bit that you get right. So number 1, car, Germany, holiday home. Beautiful and historic. So if you got one of those, you get 1 tick. If you get both of them, you get 2 ticks. Biking and water sports. Again, you get 2 ticks if you get both of those. And their opinion, good. Number 2, plane, Scotland, hotel, small and touristic, skiing and bought souvenirs, great. Number 3, bus, Switzerland, with friends, old and quiet, swimming and windsurfing, great. And number 4, plane, Austria, youth hostel, loud and beautiful, snow tubing and snowboarding, and super. So for that activity, you need to give yourself a mark out of 32. Okay, right, now we're going to do a quick reading task. So you need to read this text about somebody's holidays. And then you've got 8 sentences on the side here in English, and you need to decide whether those sentences are true, false, or not mentioned. So just jot down your answers in your book. You have got 4 minutes to read and decide if they are true, false, or not mentioned. Okay, right, let's have a look at the answers. So, number 1, Jens lives by a lake. You should have true. It rains a lot in summer. False. He does a lot of water sports in the summer. True. He doesn't like swimming. False. His favourite fruit is bananas. Not mentioned. He does not enjoy the winter. False. He skied last winter. True. In the winter, he read during the evenings. True. So give yourself a mark out of 8 for that activity. Okay, right. To finish off today, we're going to do a little bit of writing practice. So this is what we've been practicing today, being able to say where you stayed and how you found it. So you've got 5 minutes now to translate these sentences as accurately as you can into German. Make sure you put capital letters on all of the nouns. Check spellings if you're unsure. If there's any words in there that you don't know, you can use an online dictionary to look them up as you're writing. You don't need to write the English, you can just write the German translation. So you've got 5 minutes to get the 6 sentences written down in German. Okay, so let's have a look at the answers. You can mark and correct your own work. So I stayed in a hotel in France and it was very comfortable. You should have written, ich habe in einem Hotel in Frankreich gewohnt und es war sehr bequem. I stayed in a holiday home in Austria, but it was quite dirty. Ich habe in einem Ferienhaus in Österreich gewohnt, aber es war ziemlich schmutzig. I stayed on a campsite in Scotland and it was very cold. Ich habe auf einem Campingplatz in Schottland gewohnt und es war sehr kalt. We stayed with relatives in Ireland and it was very quiet. Wir haben bei Verwandten in Irland gewohnt und es war sehr ruhig. We stayed in a B&B in Belgium and it was too expensive. Wir haben in einer Pension in Belgien gewohnt und es war zu teuer. We stayed in a youth hostel in Greece and it was very smelly. Wir haben in einer Jugendherberge in Griechenland gewohnt und es war sehr stinkend. Okay, so hopefully you're getting the hang of putting these sentences together using the past tense. Your homework this week is going to be to complete the reading worksheet, which will be on Teams for you to do. Complete the crossword sheet, which will also be on Teams, and to learn words on Quizlet. The words on Quizlet will be the words that we've done in today's lesson. Okay, so I hope you're all well, and I will see you again soon. Auf Wiedersehen.